Alright, welcome back, you filthy exiles. So, we're going to do something a little different since it's the start of the league, and I guess I'm going to get on the bandwagon of giving people an idea of what to build. So, yeah, this is going to be my 5 league starter builds, or relatively easy league starter builds, that I would suggest for anyone looking to get into this league. I've got a few good ones here. Definitely there's going to be a Jugg in this list. There's definitely, yeah, we'll see what's in this list. There's some good ones. The other thing that I'm going to do, actually it's probably going to be 4 build starters. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to give you an idea of where to look if you want to play different builds, because obviously there are plenty of people that play this game, and obviously there's a lot of different builds that you can play in this game. And there's a really cool place to find them all where people don't necessarily release guides, so that will be right at the end of this video. Anyway, this will be my my at least top 4 picks for build starters for the 3.11 league. So let's get into this. So the first build guide that I'm going to suggest today is actually one that's going to get buffed significantly in the 3.11 patch, at least from what we can see. Now obviously the patch notes aren't out yet, but EQ Jugg is pretty much a guaranteed sort of powerhouse build. Also very cheap to build. Basically, you're just going to max out crit in this build. Obviously, resolute technique these days is not the goer, but you want to go crit. Crit's relatively cheap and easy to craft as well. Yeah, this build's incredibly tanky. You're probably not going to die as much as you would expect with other builds that are definitely more susceptible to taking damage. You know, this build you can play it with Abyssus and whatnot and still make that sustainable with the Jugg class, and you're going to be stacking on endurance classes. Sorry, endurance charges mainly to get this one rolling. Now with the new, I think War Chief, what was it? The War Chief support gems, and also with you know, things like, and this could be retrofitted to things like Ice Crash and whatnot as well, which are all getting buffed in the next patch from what we can see. Even Tectonic Slam is getting buffed, and the visuals are getting amped up based on what we've seen so far. I believe this build is pretty much a good base template to get that working, and the Angry Gamer has actually quite a few good builds. The build itself actually gives you a comprehensive guide on how to play it. So this one, I'll put a link in the description, and is definitely worth checking out. Alright, so the next one that we're going to look at is Enki's Arc Witch build. Now this one's a real classic because Arc Witch used to be huge back in the day, and obviously hasn't had so much love until the past leagues, or at least up until this league now. So basically, with some of the new armor types that are coming out, it looks like lightning is back in the ring at this stage, and this is definitely a fantastic build for that. My experience in the past with arc builds have generally been that they are very powerful at clearing, as you can see on the screen, and not to mention they're also very good at critical strike, taking down bosses, and everything else in between. They're just fantastic builds. Now, this one's using a witch. There are other ways you can do this using Templars and whatnot, but it's definitely up for you know, playing around and getting it work. Enki's build guide is actually incredibly comprehensive. It has a placeholder for 3.11 changes, obviously on the patch, and he also does a full flesh out of everything that you will need, and includes multiple different ways to get the POB build tree as well. And includes a leveling guide, explanations, and whatnot that you'll need in order to understand the ins and outs of this build, which is fantastic for a build guide. Definitely worth checking out. This will be in the description below as well. Okay, the next guide that I'm going to put up here is from Darkxellmc, which is basically an ED Trickster build. Now, ED Tricksters I don't have the most amount of experience with, but they are definitely powerful builds. This is one of many. This is one that is pretty popular on the I guess the poebuilds.cc website, if you go and have a look for various different builds. But this is pretty much a guaranteed build every single league to get you kicking and get you clearing that endgame content very quickly, and clearing content in a way that allows you to generate currency so that you can progress to the builds that you want to play for the league. I always looked at this build as sort of a gateway build to more other complex builds, and it's a very cheap build to get up and running off the bat at the start of a league. The guide that has been put up by Dark is essentially very good. It's also got a pretty much comprehensive breakdowns, gear explanations, gem links, passive trees, and POB links, as you would expect. It's also got possible alternatives and a Q&A section, so definitely worth looking at. It is a little meta, but if you're okay with doing that, this is a guide that's going to work for you. Okay, the next one we've got is Bergerbrush's Impale Cyclone Champion. Now, Cyclone is one of those skills that just does an unbelievable amount of damage, irrespective of what you use it with normally, and coupled with Impale, and also coupled with the champion class, it is a force to be reckoned with. Now, the best advantage of this class is obviously you're quite tanky, and on top of that, you're going to do an absolute ton of damage. Now, Bergerbrush has quite a good build guide, and he's basically set out all the advantages. He's given you a very detailed run through on path of building, and also a Slayer version if you were to so choose to use the Slayer, which is even cooler, and a POB for that too. He's also given you a POB for if you didn't want to use cluster jewels, which, you know, is really up to you if you want to go that way. Obviously, there's going to be tree changes, there's going to be different things that are going to happen, and you'll have to work around that within this build. But I think this is still a very good baseline to work with and get you started in the league. It's normally very cheap at the start of the league too, until you start min and maxing as normal. Okay, finally, and that leaves what I have to offer to the table. So I'm all for giving everyone the tools of the trade. The old adage, you can you know, teach a man to fish scenario, and that's what I believe in Path of Exile. So there's actually, if you go to POENINJA, what you'll notice is not only does it have a trading window, it also has a builds window. And when you go to the builds window, it'll pull up essentially every character over level 95 that I'm aware of. You can filter it down. And this will unlock the ability to essentially see what people are playing. For example, if I wanted to look at, obviously Guardian builds are huge with Herald stacking builds. I have a build tree for this too, if you guys would like me to do a video on that. A friend of mine has successfully done this and got to level 100 in a week. It's expensive, and it will be even more expensive next league if they leave it in the game. I reckon they'll nerf it. Other people I've spoken to reckon they won't. But this is a prime example of a really cool way to see what other people are playing. So obviously these guys, unlike most of us, have a lot of time to get to level 100, or they're running in guilds and whatnot. But essentially, as we can see, no one played Inquisitor this league. 0.04% of people played Inquisitor. As we can see, there'll be varying statistics of all different playstyles. So obviously, I think it was Stormbrand was quite good this league as well. Freezing Pulse, someone had that running really well. Normally you can see the DPSs here, it doesn't always give you that. But basically, if we just drill into this first one on WizToys, what we'll see is it'll actually bring up all that. So he actually ran a self-curse build, which is absolutely impressive. This guy is a legend from what I can see to get to level 100 with that. And basically, it'll give you the full schematic of the tree, the basic layout. It'll give you all the gearing, the gem setups and everything, and this is for any character in this league. Now, the way that POENINJA works is it keeps a back catalogue of this database, so you should be able to access this up until the league reset, essentially. You'll be able to see the passive tree, which will take you to the character itself, and you can see you can go to all the different leagues as well, and the league prior, as I was just saying there. So, you know, that's an option too. It can take you to the account of the player, which we won't do here, we'll leave him alone. And you can also copy the POB code, and you can put that straight into your path of building, and basically that'll give you everything that you need at a basic level to get started and basically get you crack-a-lackin'. And And that's pretty much the best advice that I can offer. So if there's a build that you really want to play, you don't know if it's been used before or done before, or you didn't think it was possible, there's so many players in PoE and it's such a robust community that so many different people have different ways to play. So there's most likely a build for it. Or someone's tried something crazy and got it working at level 100. We'll just click on one where we can actually see DPSs. Normally it gives you something. I don't know if it gives you just merely physical DPSs, or it's not giving you DPS right now. Anyway, if this helps you, then definitely by all means, you know, this is a great way to learn how to basically make your own builds too, and you can take a few different builds out of here, squish them together and see if they work. And that's also a really cool thing that you can do too. Anyway, if this starter guide helped you get some ideas on what to play and put you in the right direction, that's fantastic. Give me a like, give me a sub. I'll keep making videos like this. There's more stuff I want to release. I've been a little busy at work recently, but I'll be picking up more content over the few weeks. So yeah, there'll be more stuff to come before the leagues start, and also help you out with this sort of stuff. If you thought this video was shit and what's happened in the past is obviously the patch notes haven't come out yet, and I've been absolutely slayed over that. To be honest with you, while they'll make changes, it won't be so radical that these builds won't still be applicable. And in some way, shape or form, you'll be able to work with them. There's no such thing as a skill that doesn't work unless it's Spectral Shield, because quite frankly, that doesn't work. Anyway, yeah, if you think this video is shit, give it a dislike. If you like it, and also tell me in the comments what you guys want to see. That helps me get an idea of what to basically put together for you, and what to do research on, and what to build analytics and spreadsheets around to help you guys out. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and bye.